Welcome everyone to Tarot Tips. This week we have, I don't know if you can see her, we have the High Priestess. This is from the Mythic Tarot. The High Priestess is about our inner knowing. Now, you may have noticed the two pillars in the card, and the two pillars are about stability. They're about opposing forces. They're also about supporting and complementary forces. They're about strength. They support. Is what pillars do. And she's got them on either side of her, and she's got the stairs behind her, and she's got the good stuff behind her. She's got the green field, she's got the water, she's got all the lovely stuff happening there. She's holding the apple, and she's got her flowers, which are sort of dropping down in front of her. Now, that's my card, of course. They're not all the same. But with the High Priestess, it's inner knowing. It's I know. Inside myself, I know this to be true. We second guess that. We go around that. We lose confidence in that. Now, I want to be very clear that the knowing, which is the embodiment of this card, is knowing. It's not feminine intuition. That's another card. There is a card for that. The High Priestess knows inside herself what is going on, what is going to happen, what her inner self is thinking, where she's coming from, where others are coming from, what life situations are going to be. There is a difference between intuition, because intuition is out there. It's feeling others. It's feeling situations beyond yourself. It's feeling energy beyond yourself. It's feeling influences beyond yourself. People outside of yourself. The High Priestess is I know inside me. I know this is good for me. I know this is bad for me. Even if you don't know what the other person's up to or where they're at or what the situation might bring, you know inside yourself if it's the right thing to do. We all have this within us. Every human being has it, not just occasionally. We have it often. When I'm thinking about choices, I wrote a little article about choices yesterday. The choice itself is made before we go into this big thinking program. And the reason we go into the thinking program is to consider the challenges, the risks, and all of those other things that are involved with the choice we actually want to make. And so if we start with that, then of course the way we make our decisions becomes much more powerful, much more constructive. That if we use the idea that that thought process, which is decision making, is the choice, then we get a little bit mired up in either talking ourselves into a choice or talking ourselves out of a choice. And essentially that's what it can become for many people. So the High Priestess is very valid as today's card in that very, very idea of this, an inner knowing. You know essentially what you're going to do. You know essentially how you respond to things. You know essentially what your health is like. You know essentially who you are. And you also know what you would like to portray, live, or put into the world. One thing also that we know is that that all resides within us. It's within ourselves, whether that happens or not. It isn't really reliant on anybody else. They have an influence, but we were making choices through there. So the High Priestess, the embodiment of that card, is that inner knowing. There's not really any other words to go with that, but sometimes, of course, she has to hold that knowing. It's a feminine energy. Men and women have it, though. She has to hold that energy within herself in the face of appearances. That means the good stuff might not be apparent. It might be in the back of the mind or in the hopeful. We might be going through drama, just as when a person, for example, is going through separation in a relationship. They all feel terrible about that. But for the vast majority of people, they simply come past that, move on, fall in love again, and carry on their lives. We know that inside ourselves we will be all right. But there's a period of time where we're grieving. There's a period of time where we're angry. There's a period of time where we exhibit fear. For the future. Am I going to be alone forever is one of the most common questions I get. Usually within weeks to months of a separation, a person's already aligning their energy with something different for their future. So that's the High Priestess. I hope that helps you today in your learning, and have a great week.